The Google Pixel series has always been the darling of Android enthusiasts and smartphone camera geeks. But a combination of subpar hardware and lack of global availability meant that were always niche devices, coming nowhere close to the commercial success or mainstream recognition of the iPhone. However, Google's made efforts to change that in the past couple of years, starting with the excellent Pixel 6 series, which introduced new premium hardware headlined by Google's first ever custom-built silicon. That momentum continues with the Pixel 7 series, easily the most well-rounded and refined Pixel phones ever made, with the Pro model finally offering the total package of premium hardware, refined software, and top performance. But is it better than the iPhone, namely, the top dog iPhone 14 Pro Max? Let's find out. Hardware and design nearly identical to last gen. Neither the Pixel 7 Pro nor the iPhone 14 Pro Max made major design overhauls over previous generations. So if you've seen or held the Pixel 6 Pro or iPhone 13 Pro Max, these new phones will look and feel. The Pixel 7 Pro brings back the Pixel 6 Pro's design language, with the most noticeable change being the horizontal camera visor bar switching to an aluminum framing instead of glass. The visor also now blends seamlessly into the rest of the aluminum chassis for a more polished look. Otherwise, the overall shape of the Pixel 7 Pro is virtually identical to the Pixel 6 Pro, save for a slightly reduced screen curvature. It's also too heavier. The iPhone 14 Pro Max, meanwhile, looks just like the iPhone 13 Pro Max from all sides and feels identical in the hand. The camera module is a bit larger, but you'd only notice if you compare the two phones side by side. But look at the new phone's face, and there's one big change. The notch is dead. In its place is a pill-shaped cutout named the Dynamic Island. I think the name is goofy, but it works functionally and aesthetically. Apple built a software system that wraps a digital black bar around the cutout, which shifts in size depending on the action. Some of these can be helpful. For example, you can see turn-by-turn navigation information on the island, while others are purely for added visual flair. Not everyone loves this new cutout. However, both phones have reinforced, toughened glass to resist cracks, Gorilla Glass Victus for the Pixel 7 Pro, and so-called ceramic shield for the iPhone 14 Pro Max. The latter has a sturdier frame made of stainless steel compared to the aluminum that wraps around Google's phone. Moving on to the display. The Pixel 6 Pro had a dreadfully dim display that was borderline unusable in bright outdoor settings, but Google has wisely fixed this with the Pixel 7 Pro. The new screen now gets up to 1500 nits in max brightness, which is good enough to match many flagship phones, and is indeed bright enough to use even under California midday sun. But the iPhone 14 Pro Max tops it with 2000 nits. The iPhone 14 Pro Max is, in fact, the brightest screen I've ever laid eyes on. The iPhone screen is also more efficiently able to drop as low as 1 Hz in refresh rate, while the Pixel 7 Pro screen can only go down. This allows the iPhone 14 Pro Max screen to conserve more battery and offer an always-on display that's literally always on. Cameras. Great photography across the board. Both Apple and Google are late entrants to the camera megapixel and sensor size arms race led by Asian Android brands for years. The Pixel made the jump last year with the 6 Pro's 50MP main camera, and the iPhone 14 Pro phones followed suit this year with a 48MP camera. The extra pixels allow the brains of each phone to combine 4 pixels worth of data in one larger pixel, which is a process known as pixel binning. Using this technique, along with increasing image sensor sizes, allow the Pixel 7 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max cameras to grab lively, vibrant images day and night. The Pixel tends to dial up the contrast just a bit more, as well as opt for a cooler color temperature, and they look more pleasing to my eyes. Software and performance. Android vs iOS. Years ago, there were drastic differences between how iOS and Android operated. These days, the gap has narrowed significantly since Apple and Google have clearly borrowed ideas from each other. Animations are buttery smooth on both phones. The Pixel 7 Pro's UI will see the occasional rare stutter while the iPhone 14 Pro Max rarely does. The Pixel 7 Pro runs on Android 13 with its own Pixel-specific touches, including the Material You theme engine that tries to match the phone's UI colors to the wallpaper. There are old favorites, ranging from old favorites like Now Playing, where the Pixel can actively identify songs playing nearby, to new features like Photo and Blur, which does what it says, and Direct My Call, which gives users a visual map of a company's automated telephone system. These features work great, but they can be a bit much for casual smartphone users. Google Pixel 7 Pro vs iPhone 14 Pro Max. Which one should you buy? The iPhone 14 Pro Max offers better battery life, app ecosystem, accessory support, and raw computing power. However, the Pixel 7 Pro has a better camera system, more intelligent software, a better in-hand feel, and it's $200 cheaper, and there are more deals for the Pixel 7 Pro that make it even more enticing. If you ask me, I pick the Pixel 7 Pro, but I think this decision ultimately depends on personal preferences, and I don't think the $200 difference matters much to existing iPhone users. They are far too entrenched in Apple's ecosystem to give up iMessage or stop using the Apple Watch to save money. On the other hand, Google hasn't done nearly enough to stop Android users from jumping over to the iPhone. I think any team jumping will likely be from the Pixel side to the iPhone side. Google knows this, which is why it's trying to build its own ecosystem and increasingly lock features as Pixel exclusives. We are going to end this video right away. If you have any query or information to share, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.